It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Man, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Ben taking a little vacay. He's going to be back next week, taking advantage of the long weekend. So we hope wherever he went, it's pouring rain. It's time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers. They shocked Madison Square Garden.
2-point game, 6 seconds to go. Haliburton driving. He's in the lane. He nearly lost it. He backs up and unloads a 3. Oh! That did not happen! It hit the back of the rim. It popped high into the air, and it dropped gently through the net.
Unbelievable. Truly one of the great games. Incredible. The Pacers stormed back. They were trailing by, what was it, Christian, like 7 with 50 seconds to go, and they were trailing by 15 with something like 6 minutes to go. Just wild. Aaron Nesmith goes crazy shooting the basketball in the fourth quarter.
But I think he had like 6 threes in the fourth quarter.
Just wild. 8 of 9 for the game, 9 of 13 from the field, 30 points, and then Haliburton obviously doing what he did in overtime, and the Pacers come away with a Game 1 win and an absolute thriller. Man, do I love this Pacer team. Absolutely, they're who I'm pulling for of the teams left in the playoffs. I like how they were built. I like it that they're small market. Tyrese Haliburton obviously is electric. Rick Carlisle is an incredible coach. And I think they're going to beat the Knicks. And, hey, the Knicks represented themselves fine. I mean, all their players played a lot, which is the Knicks.
That's Tibbs.
Yeah, that's Tibbs. And we'll see if that's if he's able to get away with that in this series against a Pacer team that is quite deep.
Well, and the Pacers have done this. Like, was this their 4th time in the playoffs coming back from a late deficit late in the fourth quarter?
Yep. Don't give up, folks. It's never over. Look at the Indiana Pacers. And Jalen Brunson scored a lot, 43. Karl Anthony Towns had 35. To have 2 performances like that from those guys like that, man, it's tough.
Like that?
Tough for the Knicks. Don't feel bad for them in the slightest, but that's a tough one to swallow for the New York Knicks. But I'm not one who believes that home court advantage matters all that much in the NBA playoffs, so obviously this series is far from over, and I'm going to automatically turn off any show that I hear the bozo guy say, well, the Pacers just stole home court advantage. Okay. All right there. But yes, I like Indiana in this series. That was a thrilling game. I'm with Ben. I love it that we've got, 4 teams that are new to this whole conversation that have a chance to go win a title. And that was a good way to get the Eastern Conference Finals started. You picking the Pacers in this, Christian?
Originally, I was leaning Knicks, but I don't know. Last night, it showed me a little something. But you think with all the comeback wins, you would think eventually it's like, okay, how many more times can they do that?
Okay, but everybody has been saying that type of thing about the Pacers.
But then they continue to do it.
For 2 years. They were in the conference final last year at one point, and I'm guilty of this too. I didn't think the Pacers, I was like, they fluked their way to the conference finals. Are you kidding? I didn't take the Pacers seriously this year. I'm guilty of it too. At what point are we going to be like, this is a really good team? And I think a lot of the reason they come back is because they've got a really good coach. And they're super motivated. They don't mail in games. They don't do any of that stuff. I'm disappointed in Christian for picking the Knicks, but I'll forgive you. It's okay. You get caught up in the glitz and glam of the Knicks like everybody else.
Yeah, I will say that's what it is.
ESPN hasn't shut up about the Knicks for a month. Go Pacers. All right, what's next?
Number 2, the Western Conference Finals roll on tonight. Minnesota back at Oklahoma City.
And we are going to have a guest on to talk about that at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. Ben Beacon, host of Locked On Timberwolves, is going to jump on the show. And I'm really curious to ask him if Rudy Gobert has a place in this series. He did not play well in Game 1. He only played 21 minutes. And the Thunder, he didn't seem to have an answer for the Thunder, which I find curious. I think the Timberwolves can win this series, but I mean, Rudy Gobert is their highest paid player, second highest paid player. I mean,
either of them, yeah. Whichever one it is, he needs to be on the floor.
It was true when he was in Utah, and it's true in Minnesota. If you just don't play Rudy, you're just not going to play your second or third best player. I mean, man. You got to get something out of Rudy. They got to figure it out. Chris Finch has to play the chess match and figure out how he's going to enable Rudy to have an impact on this series. And the problem with Rudy always is he's so limited offensively. So limited offensively, it can really do you damage unless you can figure out a way to play him. So I think, honestly, the Timberwolves' chances in this series rest in large part on how do you figure out a way to make Rudy Gobert effective and playable in this series. And I certainly don't know how somebody's going to do that. But, yeah, having Rudy play 21 ineffective minutes, I mean, that's relegating him to basically the Tony Bradley role, you know? I mean, I guess Tony probably didn't see the floor for 21 minutes, but that's what he is. If you can't use him,
$43 million roster spot.
You're going to let the other team neutralize your second or third best player and just make him unplayable? Man, I don't think Timberwolves can win unless they figure that out. And Julius Randle has been really good, and that has turned into a much better fit than I thought it would. But they got to figure out a way to get Rudy involved. He's too important. Naz Reid is a terrible defensive player. You know, that other side of the floor is totally different when Rudy Gobert is not on it. Now, the Timberwolves are more equipped to handle that than the Jazz were because they've got better on-ball defenders. So Rudy isn't quite. I mean, remember Rudy with the Jazz and the Jazz in their game plan of, all right, you guards, you let your guy go by. That was their strategy. You let your guy beat you. Because
we've got Rudy down
Rudy's
there.
behind us, and our math tells us that when Rudy's on the ball or whatever, that they're this much less likely to score or whatever. And that was how the whole defense was designed. So if Rudy left the floor, it was over. You know, you want to know why Dennis Lindsey drafted Doak. Is because he was constantly trying to figure out
Rudy copy. How can get Rudy on the floor when Rudy's not on the floor?
Exactly. I mean, they tried to solve that problem for years. So Minnesota's actually more equipped because they've got better on-ball defenders. But still, you take a guy like Rudy Gobert off the floor, a guy that has that kind of defensive impact, that hurts your team. So how do you figure out how to play Rudy? It's absolutely going to be critical in this series because I think Minnesota is toast without it. All right, what's next?
Number 3, BYU's Jake Retzlaff has been accused of sexual assault in a civil lawsuit that came up yesterday.
Ugh. I hate talking about this stuff. I hate that this is a problem in society, not just the ecosphere of sport that we happen to operate in. It's truly terrible. I don't know how important all of the details at this point really are. Retzlaff denies that he sexually assaulted anyone. The Jane Doe says that she did go to police, but police, and this is according to the lawsuit. So, and I'm a big due process person, so don't. I'm not saying this. I guess is this is a fact, but that she went to the Provo police, and the police basically told her there's no point in filing because victims rarely see justice. And then, you know, obviously she decided that she was going to go civilly. And the Provo Police Department basically said they didn't have any leads to pursue it and is obviously saying that if new evidence comes to light, they're more than willing to prosecute this sort of thing. BYU issued a statement saying BYU became aware today that a civil lawsuit involving Jake Retzlaff had been filed this morning. The university takes any allegations very seriously, following all processes and guidelines mandated by Title IX. Due to federal and university privacy laws and practices for students, the university will not be able to provide additional content. Jake's attorney did say that he is going to focus on football for the foreseeable future, and I don't honestly know how that's possible. One thing that's going to be critical about this particular case, and we'll do this maybe coming up next, want to talk about the more broad view as opposed to, speculate about things that we don't know about. But whatever Retzlaff's defense is for this is going to be critical, in my opinion, for his ability to concentrate on football, at least at BYU.
Because the honor code thing just adds a wrinkle that is not there at other schools.
Right. So if his defense is,
it was consensual.
I hate talking about this stuff, but if his defense is it was consensual, well,
still breaking the honor code.
It's still breaking the honor code. In the story, which I don't really want to get into the details, but they both fell asleep at one point, and that would indicate to me drugs or alcohol are probably involved. I don't know that. Again, just speculation, but that is part of the story. And that would be an honor code violation. She was at his house after midnight, I would assume. I did not see the time in here. I could go back and look. But that's against the honor code. If his defense is this happened, but it was consent, which is consensual, which is usually the defense in these types of scenarios, well, that creates an additional problem for him at BYU.
Or the particular BYU side of it.
Now, if his defense is, I never met this woman, and she's just inventing it, I guess, or it's an extortion or shakedown or whatever, then that might be a different story. But I'm curious. I mean, at this point, I should probably here. I can let me find the.
Regardless, I think the focusing on football aspect of it, more or less, even if it's not with BYU in particular, I would imagine that means with his position coach or whatever, he probably has a coach that he works with throughout the summer. So I would think that that's kind of what that means, because the BYU side of it is so uncertain right now.
Yep. All right. We'll obviously this is the biggest story of the day, so we'll continue to go back and forth with it. Again, hate these shows because these topics are not why I got into sports radio. In fact, I don't know how people in the news business deal with this sort of thing on a daily basis. It's very difficult. But we'll obviously continue to get back to it. We will talk Western Conference Finals at the top of the 11 o'clock hour with Ben Beacon, host of Locked On Timberwolves. We'll ask him about the T-Wolves in the Western Conference Finals. It's all straight ahead here on Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Former BYU coach Steve Cleveland.
I've not seen AJ play. As I watched that 90-minute practice, Wright is going to be the point guard on this team. But you probably have a difficult time telling AJ that he's not going to handle the ball. He was playing the point guard. He's not a selfish player. He's very selfless. He hits the open man. He's got such size and length. Watching him initially, I thought he looked a lot like Paul George, but he's even got a better body. It took Paul probably 2 years to get a body like AJ already has. So it's obvious that he's going to have an impact immediately. This team's going to be really good. Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona, Ohio State, those are going to be the same teams that are going to show up. I'm excited about it, man. I think it's going to be a really, really good year.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.